We've been reporting on this the entire morning. Hundreds of ANC members in Gauteng at the St. George's Hotel in Irene in Pretoria for the organization's Assembly of Cadres. The leadership of the ANC in Gauteng, led by the Provincial Chairperson David Makhura, briefing the structures on progress. For more on this, let's cross live to our colleague Samkele Maseko, who is with the Provincial Chairperson David Makhura in Irene in Pretoria. Samkele, it's over to you.
Yes, indeed. The provincial chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng, David Makhura, giving what might seem like a very fiery speech and firing salvo at those who may be trying to come with underhand tactics in the politics or greater body politic of the ANC, going into how if the ANC remains stagnant and static, it will not be able to effect meaningful change to the lives of the people, and throwing shade as well to the leader of the Democratic Alliance, the Federal Council Chairperson Helen Zille, and the last apartheid president, FW de Klerk, saying they are defending apartheid. I'm going to bring in the provincial chairperson David Makhura on some of the issues he was raising. Mr. Makhura, very interesting speech that you gave, particularly around those who are trying to divide ANC in Gauteng, those who are with the ANC being factionalized, not being able to effect meaningful change in society. What's going on? What is actually at play?
Well, I think the fundamental issue that we in the ANC who are concerned about the need for fundamental change are worried about is that a divided ANC, factionalized ANC, and a corrupt ANC, those things have a relationship with the failure to change society, the failure to build a country of our dreams where millions of people are included, have the means to support life. And the point we are making here is that the ANC needs to understand that internal factional battles will only result in one thing: that we will not have we will not have the energy, the necessary organizational focus to improve the quality of life and the people have the legitimate right to reject an ANC that is divided, that is factionalized, that's not paying attention to their own needs. So anyone in the ANC who thinks that they can play games, they can continue to pursue divisive agendas and factional agendas and think they will benefit from that. They don't know that they are not just undermining a historic mission of the ANC, but they are playing with the lives of millions of South Africans who continue election after election to say that they believe the ANC is the principal agent through which they will realize their dreams. And here in our province, as we start 2020, it's an important decade as we prepare for the National General Council of the ANC, but also as we look at what's happening all over the world, what has happened to some of the most progressive parties destroyed by power and corruption. Some of the best revolutionary parties across the world were destroyed by factionalism, and what they used to stand for, what they used to aspire for, went down the drains because of corruption and factionalism. So we are identifying corruption and factionalism as feeding into the inability to build a country and an economy that meets the needs of all.
Is the ANC in threat of these scenarios you are drawing of all other former liberation movements?
Yes, definitely. I think when we a decade ago, when we started talking about organizational renewal, we pointed to what we called the sins of incumbency. What inertia, bureaucratic inertia. You get to government, you think you don't need new ideas. You you keep doing the same things. And you also very relaxed. You don't have the agency that society has. And you're cushioned from society's problems, problems of high food increases. You are cushioned from that because you are in positions of power. You live essentially on people. So that the ANC does face that threat. And we're saying that as we go to the National General Council, it is important that, and in this province, I can assure you that when we make a call and identify what the real challenge and threat of the moment is, ANC members rally together. There's always a risk that there are people who run around in organizations organizing discord and destabilizing organizations, those who may be planning to go to the National General Council to cause chaos, instead of affording the ANC an opportunity to take stock of what it has done since the Nasrec conference. There are people who may be thinking that this is a game, you see. This is about going there to dislodge one another. We say this is not about a game. It's about lives of people. And when we have the responsibility to move society to the next level where everybody, every South African feels and future generations also feel, they have a brighter future. When you are faced with that as your task, you've got to take yourself serious. So these internal battles to outmaneuver each other as ANC members, many of us have reached that level where we just say we're not for that. We want to ensure we are an ANC that takes South Africans seriously. And you will see here in Gauteng. That's why we've got these branches here. We say, even when we get into government, in local government, it can't be about ourselves and our friends and about our families. When you have millions of people who live on the ledge all the time, crime levels are going up, women are brutalized. We have the responsibility to organize the state to confront these issues. But when there are divisions all the time and people are busy, as I say, planning to outmaneuver each other, we will basically not be focusing on the ball. And I'm saying ANC members here in Gauteng, you hear their mood, you hear their spirit. We say this is one more chance we have. We were elected here in Gauteng on a slim majority. This is one more chance we have. When we are given the opportunity to make history, to make the change, to contribute to next generations, we must understand that that's the challenge and the task of the moment.
Mr. Makhura, in not so many words, you're effectively saying that there are plans afoot for votes of no confidence or to discuss leadership at the upcoming National General Council.
I don't know that. I'm not saying there are plans. I haven't heard anyone saying that. But I'm saying here in Gauteng, ANC members that we have here, branch leaders, our regional leaders, are alert that we will not allow that in Gauteng.
What is that? What won't you allow in Gauteng?
We will not allow the destabilization of the ANC. We will not allow this debilitating factionalism. And with regard to governance, we want to ensure here in Gauteng there's clean governance. We are not retreating on that. Our members, ANC members involved in corruption, must understand the full consequences of that and then face the music. That's what we're saying. In Gauteng, and when we get into the national forums like the National General Council, Gauteng will be amongst those provinces that says, yeah, we are here for business. We mean business. South Africans are counting on us to stabilize an economy, to grow this economy in a way that brings in millions of young people and all people who are unemployed into the means to earn livelihood. So that's framing our approach and attitude to every question. So we are too busy with dealing with the problems of people to be paying attention to factions. And we will not give those factions space in Gauteng.
Where are those factions? What is that? Because you are seemingly alluding to something here, Mr. Makhura, but not wanting to say that there is something at play. There are some who are probably trying to destabilize the ANC in Gauteng. Are there plans afoot to try and destabilize this province?
My point is simple, Samkele. Is if there are ANC members all anywhere in the Republic who think that this is time to play factional games, they must know that here in Gauteng, you can hear the mood. This is not the playground of those factional games. We are serious. We are going to the NGC. We are going to any national forum structure of the ANC. We in Gauteng are serious to make sure the ANC cleanses itself of factionalism and corrupt elements and focuses on the critical, urgent task of getting this economy and this society beyond the relics of apartheid and colonialism.
Are you going to that NGC to defend President Cyril Ramaphosa?
President Ramaphosa is the leader of the ANC. Definitely, we have an obligation to make sure that the president of the ANC, the national officials of the ANC, the National Executive Committee elected at the Nasrec conference, goes there to account. But we know what an NGC is for, and if there's anyone who's planning to undermine that national leadership, they must know that we will be ready.
On the issues of Gauteng, you raised issues that you have messed up in Sidibeng. Sewage is flowing all over the place in that particular municipality. What caused for you to fail there in the first place? And admitting is the first step. But when is the effective work being done to make sure that people are living in a safe and relatively clean environment?
Yeah, and I have made this point also speaking as Premier, that even where the ANC as the governing party has failed the people, we have, as the ANC has done in municipalities where we have failed the people, ANC members must know that we are not going to be tolerant to people who get into government, into positions of government, and think that that is their time. Their time has come. It's for themselves and their families. You know, we are working with national government in Sidibeng. The team of ministers, Minister Lindiwe Sisulu is leading the infrastructure side, water and sanitation. He's been doing briefings. We are working very closely with him. Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma is leading a team that's helping to ensure that the intervention that is there in the municipality, the first thing, you have to use the laws of the land to ensure that you direct that municipality to focus on the critical urgent issues. The ministers have been engaging also with the various players, including the NGOs that are organized around Save the Val. But we're also doing something very important. Let me tell you, the most far-reaching intervention in Sidibeng is to get that economy back on its feet. That economy was built on steel. The crisis of the steel industry has led to significant collapse of the regional economy. We are building a new economy. Sidibeng will have, in my term of office, a special economic zone. The Val Special Economic Zone. We are working with the private sector. We are working with the National Department of Trade and Industry to look at various sectors. We're also working with some of the big major corporations like AB and Bev, which is already in the Heineken, which is already in Sidibeng, some of the logistics companies, to create a logistic hub and essentially an airport in a special economic zone there, an airport which is just about cargo. So I am very convinced, and wait until I speak as the Premier in my other hat to hear what we're going to do there and how many jobs it's going to do. So you need to tackle the problems in Sidibeng. You need to jack up governance, which I say we are doing. MEC Maile is working with those national ministers to coordinate our efforts to fix the roads. I will also announce how many roads there, major roads in Sidibeng, the provincial government is going to be rehabilitating and rebuilding in the next 4 years. I'll also be speaking about housing delivery in Sidibeng, issues of health and education, what we are doing with some of the hospitals that are not in so good, and the schools that are not in so good shape. So a comprehensive approach to the problems in Sidibeng is to ensure that local government and provincial government work together. And again, you don't want ANC factionalism to undermine the capacity of these interventions to reach their ultimate impact and goal.
Mr. Makhura, we were in this very same venue in 2014 when you were elected as the Deputy Chairperson of the province. Paul Mashatile, now TG, was elected Chairperson. You made a resolution on e-tolls. Now on this cap that you are wearing, it's your second term as the Premier. Did you punch above your weight on e-tolls? They've not gone away. They are still here. Tito Mboweni, the Minister of Finance, says they are going nowhere. Those who use have to pay. Did you punch above your weight?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we're just waiting for the announcement on the matter of e-tolls. We have done our work, Samkele. We have done our work. We have presented a very strong case why the e-tolls have no future in Gauteng. We are waiting for the announcement.
What announcement?
The announcement will be made. You remember I said the decision will be made by the president. So that we have made a case, and we are waiting for the announcement on that. And as far as I'm concerned, we have made a very strong case.
Will it be before the 25th?
I can't tell you when the announcement will be made, but I'm waiting for the announcement.
But the president said nothing about e-tolls in the State of the Nation address. There's no bigger platform than that one.
I think if you have a little bit of patience between now and when the announcement is made, you will be happy. I can assure you, you yourself will be happy with the announcement.
Is the announcement that there's going to be a new funding model between national and the province to fund e-tolls?
Wait for the announcement. I am happy that we have made a very strong case that the e-tolls as they exist, as they have existed, have no legitimacy and they are not acceptable to the people of Gauteng. And we have put a case on the table that I'm waiting for the announcement.
On FW de Klerk, what is your view with him saying that apartheid was not a crime against humanity? And are you happy with the response that the ANC has given on this particular matter?
Well, I think it is important. You heard me that we don't want to be sidetracked as the ANC. Our mission is simple. The mission of the ANC is to move South Africa to a national democratic society where there will be no semblance of apartheid and colonialism. So as long de Klerk gets confidence from the fact that when he turns around, he can see that the big part of apartheid society that does still exist. Helen Zille gets the confidence to defend colonialism because when they move around, they can see that we haven't quite moved to a point where we have destroyed the foundations of apartheid and colonialism. So instead of focusing on them, in fact, they are sparing us as the ANC. They are drawing our attention to the fact that apartheid, which they are defending, still exists. So instead of us chasing them, we must chase apartheid and chase colonialism and destroy them. They have never believed anything else. De Klerk has never believed anything else. He's always been a defender of apartheid. Why would I be surprised that de Klerk says what he says? It's offensive, yes, but why would I be surprised?
What's the way forward? What then must happen to him? Must he continue going to a democratic parliament when he yet insists that apartheid was greater than democracy?
Let me say that I know that he will not come to my State of the Province address. De Klerk nor Zille will not come to my State of the Province address.
You will not invite them?
No. I don't invite, but I know they will not come.
Mr. Makhura, last question. You speak of factions in the ANC, particularly in Gauteng. You are alluding, and your statement is very much pregnant. What is really at play in Gauteng? There have been murmurs of those whom you have said today that if people want to run amok in this province, they must remove you as the provincial chairperson, they must remove Jacob Kawa as the provincial secretary, and Panyaza Lusufi as the deputy chairperson, and along the entire collective you have led with. Are there those whom are going around trying to divide the ANC in the country? Oscar Mabuyane in the Eastern Cape has said there are those who are moonlighting and have got no regard to the Constitution and are trying and working day and night to remove President Ramaphosa and are moonlighting in this particular aspect. Are those plans also afoot here?
All I can say you is that they will not succeed. Whether they are planning or not planning, they will not succeed. I say that with certainty because I know the ANC in this province and you heard the mood. We are the leadership of the ANC here. We are going to confront, mobilize all ANC members and confront any disruptors of the ANC in Gauteng. We will confront them to expose them and ensure that they don't succeed.
So the political machinations for the NGC are already underway?
In Gauteng province, all I can tell you is that people can caucus and meet somewhere in corners. They will not succeed.
Ekurhuleni seems to be supporting former President Jacob Zuma very much, and he's seen as one of those who want to dethrone the incumbent.
Leave out the issue of former President Jacob Zuma. I don't believe that what you are saying, that he is involved in trying to dethrone the current president. I don't know that. I know there are issues that the former president is dealing with. Don't draw him into who says he's involved in that.
I'm saying, Mr. Makhura, there are some who are saying he's part of those.
I don't believe them. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That was the Provincial Chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng, David Makhura, pretty much saying that the plans for the National General Council are underway, and there are those whom may be seemingly trying and working hard to destabilize the ANC in Gauteng, and also saying they will not be distracted by them. They are continuing with their work to change the democratic order and make sure that they are service to the people, and also saying that the last apartheid president, F.W. de Klerk, and the Federal Council Chairperson of the DA, Helen Zille, are not invited or will not be coming to his State of the Province address. I don't know if it's a subtle jab at de Klerk being at the National Assembly for Sona.
Well, as always, Samkele Maseko, they're trying very hard to get to the bottom of issues, but sometimes it's not so easy. You're watching The Agenda. Let's take a break.